This is a Sex Pot Comedy production.
Hey, everybody! Welcome to the 51st time that I've done that stupid intro to this podcast. I'm your host and creator of this damn thing, Anthony Crawford. And this is Talkin Shop, everybody. Recorded in the lovely Mutiny Info Cafe and basically made possible by Sex Pot Comedy. Love those guys to death. If you ever want to come and see the coolest bookstore in America, well, I haven't been to one cooler than this one, so come here, I guess, because Mutiny is dope. And today I'm happy to have my first ever returning guest to Talkin Shop. But before I get into all that, just a quick wee bit of advice like I normally do. And that's don't be afraid of the hard places to perform. I've noticed a lot of comics, especially here in Denver, talking about they don't want to go to certain mics because the crowd is difficult and no one listens. Well, good. Go there anyway. Learn how to deal with the worst situations you can. Because guess what? Squire, yeah, it was fucking hard here. Squire was really difficult. But if you could get at least a couple laughs at Squire, well, that little rowdy bar in Wyoming is going to be nothing. You know what I mean? If you can go make Lions Lair laugh, then that rowdy club in Indianapolis is going to be fine. You know, like you got to learn how to deal with the worst situations so when you get put in an actual situation, you can handle it with grace. You know, and find your own way of dealing with tough situations. Some people lash out. Some people get weird. Some people annoy them. I don't know. Whatever works best for you. All I say is perform in the hardest places you can perform in the hardest places you can and don't worry, like the hardest mics, I should say. Perform at the hardest mics you can. Because open mics are the only place where it's okay for us to bomb. It's okay to be terrible. And I would rather go to a hard mic and possibly bomb there than always doing new talent night at Comedy Works, and that's the only place I perform. And then next thing you know, I have to go do a show in Lubbock, Texas at some bar with chicken wire in front of the stage. You know, and oh my God, maybe they won't like me here. Well, damn it, if you did that one weird biker bar in Wheat Ridge when they had a mic that was awful, then maybe you'd be able to deal with it. You know, just train for the worst so you can be the best in the worst. Does that make sense? I think that made that. Hell yeah. Thank you, Jordan. Now, without further ado, one of my damn good friends, and if you know him, you probably believe he's one of your damn good friends too. One of the coolest guys that I've met here, one of the first guys I actually met when I came here, does everything, comedy, stand-up comedy. Pretty sure he's done some improv at some point, commercials. Oh man, this dude does everything. He's the face of quitting smoking here in Denver. Doesn't even live here anymore. How the fuck did he pull that off, you know? But he's cool as hell. He moved to LA. I had him on Talkin Shop. He might have been like episode 17 or something.
Yeah,
like
it was
that.
real early.
It was early. And he moved to LA. He portrayed the Mile High and left for better things, which...
Did he?
Oh no, we're about to find out, aren't we? But ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Jordan Dahl back to the
It's
table,
me,
everybody. Jordan
the vengeful
Dahl.
spirit of Gary Shandling. Second time on the show. It's good to be back, man.
Yeah, man.
In more ways than all of the ways.
How's everything been, brother?
It's been okay, man. It's been a move in terms of my entire life. It's been a struggle to get back in, to break into a new scene.
Yeah.
But for the most part, it's been good and it's been productive and it's been inspiring.
What would you say is the biggest thing you've noticed moving from Denver to LA?
Oh Jesus, man, that's a difficult question. It's a much different town. It's enormous. It's like 90 Denvers, and yet like no Denver at the same time. The people are different. The scene's a completely different scene. It's they have their own things that they like and their things that don't really fly so much. They got good mics. They got bad mics. They don't have any good mics. That was a lie. I'm just kidding. There are mics that I like to hit for sure. But there's a lot of people. There's a lot more people trying to do the same thing that you're doing, and this weird thing will happen where there's like 4 different scenes where you'll be like, oh yeah, I tell jokes in Hollywood. I'm like East Hollywood, kind of the East Side, and then there's like a whole thing happening on the West Side that I don't even know those fucking guys, and like same out in like Santa Monica and like all of those places like has its own scene, and yet it's all considered Los Angeles, but it's just this big sprawling fucking thing. And they're all doing the same thing that you want to do, My buddy, dear friend of mine, when we first got there, I'm running bits now because this is a joke that I tell on stage. He confided in me, and he was
That's
like,
never been done on this podcast before.
He was like, it's just like you get here and you feel like this is a place to be to make kind of showbiz things happen, but there's so many people trying to do the same thing, and they're all so talented, and some of them aren't even from here, and you're like, well, I guess I didn't need to come here to do this thing, and it can just be so overwhelming, and I don't know what to do. And I was like, hey, man, I'm going to make it. Don't worry about me. It'll be fine. But yeah, it can be overwhelming at times, but for the most part, it's a city like anything else.
I mean that. Now,
with coconuts, with fake palm trees that shouldn't be there.
I did not.
Affronts to God. These palm trees aren't from Los Angeles. They're from Australia. That's why there's palm trees in California, in LA specifically?
No.
Because they got duped by some sort of Australian palm tree impresario, I presume. A guy in like a suit made of coconuts and shit, a briefcase of banana leaves, sold somebody a ton of palm trees because they're like, it's wonderful. It doesn't take a lot of water. It's great for building houses. It can be timber and fuel and all of these things, all of which were total lies. Yeah. It's terrible for constructing houses and anything of that nature. They're like the thirstiest fucking trees on the planet. And now they're everywhere there. And
nice.
So every time you see a picture of someone who goes to California and they're like, this place is pretty cool, like standing on a street as the sun sets, and the palm trees rim the road, and they're like, man, I made it. That road is rimmed with lies. Those palm trees are all lies.
Now, the famous Chinese theater there with the Walk of Fame.
Sure.
Is it a place people should actually check out, or is it another one of those lies?
Dude, the entire place is a lie. However, that being said, it's a city that built itself on the lie, on the facade that this is a beautiful place that people should come, and this is like just like in the movies, everyone's gonna be a star. All of that shit. And when I was first there for a while, like just trying to kind of lock my life in and like figure out where I fit in terms of comedy and in terms of what I moved out there to do, which was acting, I didn't do any of that. I was like, I don't want to fucking go to the Walk of Fame. I don't want to see Mann's Chinese Theater or whatever it's called, Glauman's now. Oh, yeah. I didn't do any of that. And then my dad came out to visit, and I was like, let's go do a bunch of touristy shit. And it was the best. It was the best time. It's so dumb, and you feel like super cheesy, but like it's just a great time walking around and being like, I was doing a show at the there's a theater there. There's like this improv theater, and you walk out front to smoke a cigarette or whatever, and like Chris Farley's star is right there, and you're like, oh, this is kind of cool. This feels kind of right. But yeah, honestly, I think that's a big part of the charm of the city is like how it's like. How Hollywood, like if you go see that shit, and like seeing the Warner Brothers lot and like the Warner Brothers Tower, the Yakko Wacko and Dot just chilling in there until the next time somebody lets them out for whatever reason. Studio tours are great. I did the WB tour.
Nice.
They had a bunch of Batman memorabilia from all the worst Batmans.
real colorful shit.
Dude, yeah, the shit from Batman Returns.
Yeah.
Who was the guy? Who directed it? Oh, come
Was
on.
that Tim Burton? That one Burton.
No, it was right after Burton, and he's like a big flamboyant director, and he like makes these big campy movies. No, it's not. It's the one with Mr. Freeze, exactly. And you go in and you watch your fucking mouth, sir. You watch your mouth. That movie sucked. I will fight you on top of a statue. I will fight you in an ice rocket to the moon. I will fight you in a museum where the ground is frozen and I have skates in my boots for some reason. It was a terrible movie.
It was awful.
And the Batmobile looks way more like a giant ribbed penis the closer you get to it in person. You see it on screen and you're like, that looks vaguely phallic. And then you see it in person and you're like, can we go? I feel like I can smell it. But yeah, I can highly recommend doing all the super campy shit. Dude, buy a Hawaiian shirt, fucking get a straw hat, do the whole thing.
Why is that a California tradition? Why is that an LA tradition?
Just
look
like a tourist.
Gotcha.
Get a big map.
fanny
With
pack.
your mouth open, pointing at things. A sailor hat and a lollipop. Just mug bait. Dude, I do live in like East Hollywood where it's kind of sketchy, and I should have been mugged for so many things. So many times I get back to my, like, I literally, when I first got there, somebody got me one of those big lollipops.
Oh,
and I was like
wow.
walking from my car through the hood holding this big lollipop. Just looking, couldn't have looked more like, wow, big city, huh? I walked through the street carrying 2 bags of Tupperware. I'd mug that guy. Fucking Tupperware carrying motherfucker. That's hysterical. Although I did find, so they tell you to be, like, if you don't want anyone to fuck with you, first of all, there was a lot of problems with gangs in Los Angeles. I don't know if you guys heard about this.
Say no way.
It's not super bad where I live. But they tell you to be the scariest dude on the street, right? And you would be shocked how fast a dude... Okay, so if a guy holding a lollipop walking down the street is just like, this dude is such a sucker, you put a hood up, you're a lollipop with a hood up. That guy's fucking terrifying. Why's he got all those Tupperwares? Probably for all the hearts he takes out of people. If I was a serial killer, I'd pull hearts out. They'd call me Cupid or the Heartbreaker.
Yeah.
Don't make that derisive noise at me, Rachel Weisz. That disappointed Muppet noise.
Let me ask you this, because I've been a fan of you on stage and on screen.
Back at you,
not a big one, but I'm just saying I like your work.
I should know.
But honestly, in LA, which one have you found more difficulty with, comedy or acting in LA? 'Cause
Well,
there's so many motherfuckers trying to do it.
so here's the thing. Comedy is something that, like, we specifically, like, we can do that on the streets. You know, we can go and find a mic anywhere and tell jokes anywhere. Acting specifically is much more difficult there because there are people from literally all around the world. Like, LA is the place where, you know, television crashed to earth. You know, this is the crater where movies became the thing. So everybody's going there. And, like, I moved out. I got an agent. I had a commercial agent for commercial auditions and stuff, and was feeling pretty good about it. Went on a few auditions. I had a pretty good resume.
Mm-hmm.
Went on a few auditions when I was non-union, and I was like, this is great. You know, the stuff's rolling in. I'm not booking anything, but there's thousands of me out there. Dude, the room, man, the audition room for schlubby sidekick.
Yeah.
It's just, it looks like a horrible, like if they had a cloning experiment for guys like me and just all the versions that had failed and some of them that were like kind of okay, but like has an ear that nowhere you're going to see on camera. He'll pass. But I ended up booking a thing for Those Who Can't, which is a fantastic show. The dudes from the Grawlix run, and they kind of threw me a bone, and they were like, hey, we're going to give you a line in this. We're going to give you a speaking role. Season 2, Episode 1, I'm Jerry, the sub shop manager.
Hey.
And I got that, and I became must join for SAG, which is they wouldn't let me do that part until I had paid SAG $3,000, which was all the money that I had. And then became SAG, Screen Actors Guild.
Yeah, which is awesome.
So, which is awesome, kind of. Here's the thing. So after I became SAG, no more auditions. Everything dried up because if you're some dude and you're non-union, you're showing up. Non-union shoots are like let's take a chance on some dude. We don't have to pay him a lot. If you're SAG, like the people going out for those roles are people who know everyone and they've met casting directors and they're plugged in and they have agents who are willing to sell them, who know that they can sell them. They've made the correct connections to take that step. I had not made those corrections, so immediately everything dried up. I had 2 auditions in 6 months, both of which I was out of town for, both of which I informed my agent about beforehand. Please don't book me on this. I'm going to be out of town. Anyway, so after 6 months of nothing, I was like, well, I can do nothing by myself. I do it all the time. And I called them up and I was like, hey, I was just wondering what. I actually sent them an email. I was wondering what it would take to get out of my contract because I basically felt like they had shelved me. Like I didn't book anything when I was non-union, and then I was SAG, and they're like, who fucking cares? Forget about them. And so I was like, what would it take to get out of my contract? Because I wasn't really hearing back from anyone, and they sent me one back within like 10 minutes saying, you've been released from your contract. I was like, oh, you were already seeing someone? Great. But that was fine because that's what I was hoping to do because I was basically hoping to start all over with this knowledge in my back pocket that like you got to take steps. It's not like because I was paying the rent with doing commercial acting here in Denver, and it was like I knew people, I knew casting directors who would call me up and be like, hey, I think you'd be good for this. Come on an audition. I didn't know anybody like that in LA, but I thought I could skate by with a good agent and a good reel and a good resume. Can't. So basically, I decided to get my reel redone, talked with a new agent, and kind of came in with like telling them this story and being like, I really want to do what is necessary to make this my dumb career again. What do I have to do? And luckily, I was able to sign with another agent who has a real small roster of comedians specifically. I asked a friend who I knew was with this person. I sort of took a step back and I was like, let's run at this again. This seems like a good one. Talked to them, and they were like, get new headshots, take this class. We'll start submitting you for auditions. And they're like much more communicative. But that was a big lesson that I learned was like, shouldn't have joined SAG, or at least should have known some people first. Yeah. But at the same time, it's not like I was going to be like, I can't be in your TV show. I had to. You got to be in the TV show.
Yeah. So you did finally, you joined SAG, so you was able to do Those Who Can't.
Yeah.
But does that mean...
Season 2, Episode 1, Jim, sub-shop manager.
So, but does that mean if they want you to come back, if they want Jerry, the sub-shop manager, to come back, you got to rejoin SAG?
No, I'm in SAG now. I pay SAG like $100 and something a year, which is dues. And all that means is that you're in the union, so you benefit from like certain protection from the union. Like you have to be paid a certain amount for everything that you do. For a day, it's this much. For residuals, it's this much. If you're in smoke, you get a bump for being in smoke. If you have to get in the water, you get a bump for doing this.
Yeah.
You have to be fed, stuff like that. And basically, if you get a job, you get a lot more money, but the jobs are fewer and farther between because there's those are like bigger roles, basically, most of the time. Although I've been doing a lot of background work, which is just being an extra.
Yep.
It's a good way for actors to make money, and it's kind of fun. I was in what was it, Rosewood? Did you see me in Rosewood? They took a
sure.
They took a swab of my mouth. I was some sort of infected hillbilly. I don't know. They don't tell us much. And because I'm in SAG, I basically get like twice what non-union people get. So it's a decent day of work.
Nice.
And you bear a chance of like getting a line and then getting like an actual payday of like you were a SAG actor in this TV show.
Nice. Yeah. So How many, like, when you go on these auditions and stuff, do you get the script when you get there, or is your agent pumping you scripts the whole time? Or?
It's different usually. Like sometimes they'll send you aside and they're like be ready for this, read this to them, you know.
Yeah.
But for the most part, because they're doing so much out there, because the industry is like so thick there, it's just, they call them cold reads, and you just go in and somebody will be like, here, you're Carl. And you'll sit there for like 10 minutes, and then you get to go in and read for Carl. And then they're like, send in 5 more Carls. Like, okay.
And the whole time the lobby looks like a police lineup.
Fucking Carl Fest. Fucking Carl Fest 09 over here.
So doing all that, do you... how aware of your look do you have to be? Like, do you have to?
What do you mean?
Like if
what are you trying to say?
No, I'm just wondering, man.
Is this because I have one shoe on?
I'm just wondering, like, if you decide, man, I'm gonna get my hair cut real quick, do you have to clear that with people?
Yeah. Actually, I got a call back for something when I first got there. I went in for a thing that I didn't think they gave a shit, and then I shaved my beard off and went like just mustache because, you know, it's a mustache kind of night. And then I went back. I got a call back and went back in, and they were like, huh, you shaved your beard. I was like, I did. Okay, bye. Never heard back from them.
Damn.
Which is weird because I thought they were going to be like, we like the mustache better.
That would that hurt?
Right?
Would that have hurt?
If they were like, we like the mustache better?
Yeah.
No, because I had the mustache at the time. If they would have been like, you know what, you made a bold move, kid. We're putting stash you in there. But they didn't. They were like, go home, think about it.
So that's why the beard is back.
No, the beard is back because I lost my lower jaw.
Huh?
Yeah. Had it blown off. Fell asleep on the strip. Somebody stole it.
Have you doing sketch work out there?
No, not really. I've been doing. I've done a couple of things. The Nix brothers are out there. You know the Nixes.
Yeah. I've had them.
We did. We've done a couple of sketches with them since we got there. I've written a ton of stuff and kind of been pitching it around. I did a show. I had a Snapchat show with Comedy Central, which was like a bunch of sketches, like two series that ran. So yeah, I guess I have. When I said no, I was wrong.
You're already adopting that LA bullshit,
yeah,
man. Come on,
it's
man.
Nothing. Snapchat's dead, though. We all know Snapchat's dead, right?
Genuinely have never been on it.
Yeah, there you go. I don't even know what Snapchat is, man.
How's the comedy working out for you out there?
It's good, man. It's you know, it's, I imagine, as someone who's moved to a new city, you know how it can be, trying to get in and be like, I've been doing this for a while. Just give me a shot.
Yeah.
And sometimes, you know, it's tough to find your place in a scene, but if you just kind of keep doing your shit, you know, if you think it's funny, other people will eventually think it's funny. And it was tricky at the start to I didn't exactly hit the ground running, but after a couple of months there, I got in with the improv and got in with a couple of people who run great shows in town. And specifically right before I left, it was like the summer was coming back around, and I am a very anxious dude. Like, I am not always the fun and gregarious person I am when I'm around my friends and comics I've known for years, you know? Yeah. And I forget how often, like, my place at the party for the first 2 years that I was doing comedy was that fucking weirdo who says the wrong thing at the wrong time and just weirds everyone out and then goes away, looks at his phone for 4 hours. And so I definitely did a lot of that at the start, but I'm getting more and more comfortable at it. And honestly, like the stand-up part of it has always been okay because I get new material and I write new material and I feel okay about it. But like the social aspect of bleeding back into a new scene and trying to find that same kind of camaraderie can be real tough. I have no friends. I have friends when I go to the mic.
Yeah.
You know, people at shows that I'm like, oh, cool, it's great to see you here. We'll hang out all night. We'll talk about jokes. It'll be great. And then I'll see you at the next show.
But you live close to like Chris and Jim and those guys,
yeah,
don't you?
Yeah, kind of. Honestly, getting around out there can be really tricky. And my car exploded. 'Cause that's what happened to my job.
Yeah, I was just about to say.
And so it can be tricky to get out to where Chris moved to a new place, but he's moving again. I live up the street from Jim, and we definitely hang out and go to restaurants we can't afford and talk loudly and laugh about things that only the two of us would ever laugh about. So that's a lot of fun. But yeah. I mean, there's obviously, I got pals out there.
Oh, yeah.
But nothing like here. I love you guys so much. Oh, Timmy's here. I love you so much.
Oh, Timmy did pop in. But now, price difference. Is LA genuinely that much more expensive than here?
It's not.
I was afraid you was gonna say that.
I'm paying barely more for rent out there than I was here. Honestly, I think if I were to move back to Denver, I'd be paying more for rent here. Yeah.
That
Yeah.
sucks.
Yeah.
So much.
Calm down, people of Denver. Yeah, no, it's about comparable in the housing market, but again, it's so dense that like most people roommate up with like I got 3 roommates, so there's 4 of us.
Yeah.
And between the 4 of us, rent's pretty fucking affordable. You do pay for most everything else. The parking situation is fucking unbelievable. It's this ridiculous, just Hieronymus Bosch level of hell that you need. Like I've seen parking signs you wouldn't believe, Anthony. A river of engines and cars stretching across the horizon. Like seriously, I've seen these parking signs that are like no parking between 1 and 4 p.m. unless you're 6 foot tall and on a Thursday. Turn around, I'm behind you. Like I have 100% parked my car and like gotten out and read the sign and been like, okay, I think I'm okay. Gone to walk away and be like, let's go read the sign again just to make sure, and then caught something and been like, okay, I gotta move my car. And then there's weird rules that are like, if it's a yellow zone, it's loading only unless it's after 5 p.m., then you can park there. And on Sundays, same thing. Any parking meter is open on Sunday. Huh. It's a whole thing, man. And that can get you. The first week I was there, I shelled out like $200 extra just for parking tickets and like getting towed.
Jesus Christ.
Because I didn't understand it. But yeah, it can be expensive if you don't know the cheat codes. Cheat code is to break your car and never have to use it.
So that's public transportation out there. Or do you have, or all of those non-friends of yours giving you rides?
It's okay. There's a subway. There's a lot of buses that come with their own system of rules and perils. But it's pretty good. If you navigate it correctly, you can get where you need to go for sure. I have had to since my car died, I've had to reduce my sphere of where I can get work, specifically because it might be tricky for me to get to places. But sometimes Jim Hickox lets me use his crazy future car. It's badass.
I believe it.
When you open the door, like the seat and the wheelchair like move out of your way, and then when you get in, they like re-clamp around you. Yeah. And a thing drops down and some sensors go into your eyes. A robotic tendril forces its way down your throat. For the new road taste technology. Jesus Christ. I'm going to miss a turn. I taste it 3 blocks in advance. Yeah, but people have kind of helped me out with the whole car thing. I'll get a new one. I've been thinking about getting a motorcycle. Could you imagine?
No.
Motor Jordan? No. Oh, he'd be dead in a week. I'd get one of those American flag helmets. Hell yeah. Oh, if you ride a motorcycle, it seems to be the ultimate traffic hack, because the traffic, if the parking is bad, the traffic is a fucking nightmare. It's ridiculous. I have a friend who lives 16 miles away, and her commute is 2 hours each way every day because of rush hour.
Jesus Christ.
But motorcycles specifically, because there are so many people, motorcycles are allowed to just whiz between the cars on the interstate. It's fucking full on Akira law out there at this point. They're just, like, awesome. I think they were pulling people over for a while, and then they were just like, just go, save yourself from the traffic. It is crazy though when you'll be sitting there in the traffic on your 9th podcast and you just see some motherfucker just ring. And you're like, dang, he seems so free and happy. There's also 2 different types of motorcycles though. There's like people who clearly do it because they're like motorcycle enthusiasts and have like crazy like Japanese like Suzukis and shit. And then there's a guy who's just like right like 1/4 turn off of a Mad Max situation. Yeah.
Have you had any weird celebrity run-ins yet?
Oh, you know what? No. I killed William H. Macy.
Nice.
No. Me and my friends like to go throw bottles at Ryan Gosling's house. That is a thing. When people hit me up and be like, "What are you gonna do tonight?" I'll be like, "I'm gonna go up to the hills, try to find Ryan Gosling's house, and whip bottles at it." And then he'd come out, and then we'd fall in love.
Yeah.
You know what? I haven't seen a lot of celebrities, and honestly, I think maybe I have. It's just when they're not celebritating, I'm like, who the fuck are you? I did see, what's Jordan Peele's wife's name? She's on Chelsea Peretti. But I don't count her. She's a comedian. She's so pregnant, and she's pregnant, so I don't count her for that either. You're a celebrity? Yeah, right. Come talk to me when you have that kid. You know what? I'm sure I'll remember something at some point because there's in the back of my mind there. I can definitely remember a time where I was like, "Don't look, don't look, don't look, don't look." I'll remember it.
Are the LA homeless people really that cool?
No,
I didn't think they were.
Who told you they were cool?
Somebody always like, man, all the homeless people, they can either do a magic trick or they're Batman.
No.
Or they're something. I'm just
they're magic Batman.
Yeah, or they're working out and they're like the best.
Nah, dude.
I didn't think so.
No,
I'm just shooting down LA rumors
honestly,
right now, man.
the homeless problem in LA is one of the main things that I'm like, so LA is this weird thing where like, it's so big and the urban sprawl is like so unwieldy that it almost feels like there's this beautiful city because you see these sparks of like these moments of old Hollywood and like cool architecture and like lush greenery and art and stuff where you're like, this place is beautiful, but then you see the rest of it and you're like, oh, it's like this really nice city that has this horrible crust, this bacteria growing all over it that's just killing parts of it at a time. And one of the main things that makes it that way is the homeless problem. They have a huge homeless problem. They have a huge housing problem. And it makes it hard to make fun of homeless people.
Yeah, I can see
like,
that.
I have a couple of jokes where I'll like make a crack about some bum that I met, and like I don't like to tell those anymore because of some of the people I've seen that I'm just like, man, it looks real bad. Yeah. I'm really sorry. Like you look like it's real tough out there. And sometimes you see people who are like, who have a ton of shit, like nice shit. You're like, oh, you have a great tent and like all like a cooler and like some chairs and your family looks well fed. Yeah. And that's because you guys didn't make rent 1 month and now you guys are out on your ass. And it sucks. It's gross. And then there are parts where it's like it's gone full like you don't go under that underpass because there's a city under there that has its own name and language, and you just don't go there. Yeah. That is the Undercity. This is Under Angeles. Welcome. Can I leave? We'll have to speak to our child king. They love mirrors. Always keep a mirror on you. You can trade for mirrors.
Anybody got a question for Jordan? Anybody? Come on up, man. Hit the mic.
Where in East LA do you live?
I live in East Hollywood. I live on a...
like close to Los Feliz?
Yeah,
totally. What street do you live on?
Okay, I'm at 4336. I live right off of Virgil. Do you know where the Virgil is?
I used to live right across the street from Smog Cutter.
No shit. Me too. I live right across the street from the Smog Cutter.
Holy shit, what's the address?
Brian? Brian, is that you? My baby boy!
We're making moments here, people.
Oh, we embraced. Where's my wallet? Get back here.
You never paid mom, so this is mine now.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah,
that's
I live right there.
cool. Yeah,
Yeah.
I used to live there in an illegal back house.
Cool.
From a slumlord. That was
All right.
great.
Yeah.
So it seems like, and that was affordable. So we've had similar experiences.
I think there's something happening at my apartment where they sent us the number that we were supposed to be paying for like many months now, and it was lower than what I thought we had to pay.
Oh, yeah,
so I was
dude.
like, "You guys owe me a lot of money," and they were like, "Oh, we can't find the numbers again." And so I just started paying them less. I was just like, "I'm gonna pay you $100 less this month," and they haven't said anything.
Nah, you good.
Yeah, I think I'm good. And it's kind of a cool neighborhood. There are cool parts of it. There are beautiful parts in East Hollywood, but like if you go downhill to where like the interstate, like that whole area, there's like these shanty towns that pop up. My friend had the catalytic converter on her car stolen
Jesus.
like 5 times last year.
Jesus.
Because like there's like precious metals and there's jewels in there. And they like the people who live in these towns will like just go around and find tall cars, specifically like elements and stuff, and go under there and pop the catalytic converter off. And last time she called me and she was so furious, and I was like, I don't know what you want me to do. Are we gonna fight someone right now? Do you want me to get a bat, a stick with a nail in it? I'm gonna be bad at this. Just crying the whole rumble through. She got furious though, and she actually ended up getting them like ousted. She called the cops and was like, "Tear up this shanty town. I've had enough." Because that's the weird balance. Is like it does look like it really sucks, and there is this huge problem. But at the same time, stop stealing my fucking laptop, dude. I got my laptop stolen. Got pictures of the dude. Nobody cared.
Oh, for a minute I thought you meant like in the laptop. For a
Oh,
second.
no.
I was gonna say what?
Like he FaceTimed me afterwards.
Yeah.
I got your stuff, man. I got your screenplay. I punched it up a little bit. Can you give this to your agent? I did it. I had like 70 pages of a screenplay that me and Andy Sell were working on. It was so good and funny, and now it's lost and we have to rewrite it. It needed a rewrite.
So you was done a favor almost.
Yeah. I was furious. Oh, I was so
bet.
mad.
That was a new laptop?
No, but it was my laptop.
Fair.
You know?
Fair.
She weren't the prettiest girl on the block, but hey, she's mine.
Anybody else got a question for George? Anybody?
That's it.
All right. Since you're my first returning guest,
Oh, yeah?
I feel weird asking you the same questions I always ask at the end of these. But, however, you may have new answers for them this time.
I'm taller.
Yeah, I believe you.
Thank you.
You look good too, man.
Thanks, man.
You look tan.
We're doing great. We both look better than ever. We're going to hit the town after this.
Fuck yeah, we are.
Cook up new names. I'll be Excelsior. That's bad. Nobody's going to believe that.
No, I wouldn't go that route. I wouldn't.
Valus.
You got to go somewhere like Dale.
Yeah, all right. I'll wear Dale. I know I look like a Dale. Just one time I want to be Chip. Chip trapped in a Dale's body.
What? Is that like lightning or thunder? Is that what I've been
It's
hearing?
a beautiful Colorado storm that I missed so much.
Great.
Ooh.
It's going to be 20 degrees colder out
I
there
love
after
it.
that. Good God. Oh, man, the weather has to be great out there, right?
You know what?
Have you missed it?
Here's the thing. Okay. There's a lot to really like about California, about Los Angeles. Colorado is like my whole heart is here for a really long time. And changing all of that has been probably the hardest part about it. Just like there's no Halloween doesn't feel like Halloween. Christmas doesn't feel like Christmas. These afternoon thunderstorms that have become such a part of like my like fucking spiritual geography that I didn't even realize when it doesn't rain. When it rains, it's like here and there, or while I'm asleep, and I wake up and I'm like, come on, I was right there. But it does rain, but not in the way that I want it to. Not in those big fucking coming over the mountain god killers. You
missed the hailstorms?
What's that?
You missed the hailstorms?
Yeah. Because I don't have a car, so it wouldn't have been a problem for me. That shit was insane, by the way. That fucking hailstorm?
Yeah.
Who did that? Who did it? Who angered that cabal of wizards? That seemed like someone was being punished specifically.
Yeah.
Like one guy fucked up too bad. I'm like, that's it. Decimate Denver. But it is.
Too many Jamba Juices.
Yeah. Start over. But that said, for a traditional person who isn't addicted to snow and coldness and a fall and the changing of the seasons, yeah, it's beautiful. You go to the beach, God. Like sometimes, like going out to Malibu, laying on the beach all day, it's fucking insane. It's so nice. But then you go to Venice Beach and lay on the beach, and you come back, and you're like, I don't feel like I'm covered in plastic.
Is that where Muscle Beach is?
Yeah.
Is that the same thing?
Yeah.
So you've seen the super ripped guys working out on the beach?
Seen them. Followed some of them to their cars. Got the shit kicked out of me. You know what? Honestly, Muscle Beach, you don't those dudes the day of that like super roided up like flex boy on the beach is not the heyday is gone. Like now it's in terms of like fitness, like people doing like impressive push-ups and like pull-ups and stuff, and it's like you look like a fit dude, but you're not. You know, you look like you can turn your head and scratch your back if you need to.
So you basically saying Muscle Beach has almost gone CrossFit now.
Yeah, sure, absolutely. I would say 100%.
Really?
I mean, you got to take this as the opinion of a guy who's done maybe 40 minutes of exercise in his entire life, but it seems like they're going for a CrossFit feel. Yeah.
Never would have saw that coming.
I never would have thought that those muscle men could be chased out of there. The Battle of Muscle Beach. Come at me!
They didn't have
Push one of them onto their back. Everyone run!
Help me up. All right.
You're dead to me! Decker! Decker, come back!
Decker.
Yeah, it's a muscle man name.
Sweet.
What's your muscle man name? Thor? Magnus.
Magnus.
Excelsior.
See, that's why I shot down Excelsior for you the first time.
Because I'm not 300 pounds of pure biceps.
Seems like a Braddock or something like that.
Braddock.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
Drago.
Sure. Dude, it just dawned on me the other day that some people's names is Rambo. I was like, some people have the last name Rambo.
Yeah.
And going through life like that has to be tough.
Especially when you're not Rambo-esque.
Exactly. If your name's John Rambo and you're like a clerk at some sort of Google offshoot, you can't live up to that. We'll talk about it later.
I'd love to see a John Rambo that genuinely just doesn't fit the category. Like the John Rambo that we meet is like this obese Korean guy.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
Like that.
Yeah.
Like he just doesn't fit it at all. Just like, man.
And thinks he's the better Rambo.
Yeah. Like, when did black people grow mullets? And when did Rambo become a black guy with a mullet? Like,
today, motherfucker.
Well, we got to wrap it up because a band is going to play in here at some point. So I'm going to end this the same way I end all the podcasts because I couldn't come up with new questions to ask you to end this. So what's a pet peeve you see comics doing?
Oh, shit. You know what? I think last time it was just the kind of exclusivity of it, just like being a dick and feeling like because somebody's new or because somebody's not funny, they don't deserve an ounce of respect as a human being from you. Don't do that. Be nice to people. Be nice to everyone. You don't have to laugh at them, but just be an okay person. I would like to, if I may. There's kind of one or two big things that I've learned from my move to Los Angeles, and. The first being that you don't have to move to Los Angeles to be famous. A lot of people think that there is this point where it's like I did myself. Honestly, I was like, you got to take the next step. This is the next step. And for me, it works because I wanted to pursue acting. That was the main thing.
Right.
That's where you go to do that.
Right.
So I had to do that. And even though it's been tough, it's getting better all the time. And I'm starting to see. I wouldn't be there still if I wasn't seeing small changes. But I am. I'm seeing small. I'm putting in work. And I'm seeing small changes. So I'm going to keep working at that until that happens. But I know that if you want to be a stand-up comic, you don't have to do that. Like you can stay in a home base, just hit the road, do festival. Honestly, the biggest thing that happened to me in LA was because of the High Plains. When I came here and did High Plains 3 months after moving, like after I moved back, Comedy Central was like, "Hey, we saw you at High Plains. Will you come do some showcases and talk about maybe doing some projects?" I was like, "Cool." So I didn't have to leave at all. Cool, that's great. That being said, if you think in your heart that you absolutely do need to move to make something new happen, if you need to light a fire under your ass, if you think that this is the place you need to be to make the next step, then by all means go, because I would much rather go and fight through the hard time of being, starting all over again, basically, and getting back up there, than to be sitting somewhere, taking the things that I have for granted, and always wondering what could have happened,
Yeah,
If it was 3 years down the line and I was like, man, I wonder if I'd have moved to LA, if that shit would have happened. But, I went out and I checked it out. And if it doesn't work out, I'll come back here and be perfectly happy here, and just keep doing what I was doing here.
Yeah.
Because I can write scripts here. Yep. I can send them to people via the magic of the internet. Like, you can put a sketch on YouTube and that shit could pop off. Hell yeah.
I get that. And last question I ask you, what do you wish comics would do more often?
Boy, magic. No. More coin tricks. More on-stage pranks. It's a tricky question. I think it kind of links to my first thing of so there's this thing where it's like, I do believe in the camaraderie and sticking together and helping each other out and giving people chances and making sure that your shows don't look the same all the time and booking people who could deserve a shot on that show. But at the same time, I think you got to be tough on the people who aren't very funny. Like this. Okay, this is sounding completely contrarian.
No,
what I'm trying to say is so when I first started comedy, The Squire, that was the meanest mic in America, and it was terrifying. And my first time winning the Squire bar tab was fucking immense for me. I was like, holy shit, this is huge. I can't believe this happened. And because it was scary, I got better. And I made the point to reach a level that I thought could compete with that. If everybody is always like, hey, you did great up there, even if you didn't do great, then maybe you'll never try to get great because you think you're already great. But at the same time, you can be like, hey, you're my friend. I think you could make that joke better. Here's how I think you could do it. Maybe try this, da-da-da-da-da. Keep working at it, that kind of thing.
I get that. Oh, yeah, man.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. What you got any shows coming up here in Denver?
I'm here for 2 days. I'm going to be doing tomorrow night I'm at Syntax for a Sex Pot comedy show at 7. Mm-hmm. Then I'm at Comedy Works for a show at 7:30. So I will be in 2 places at the same time. And then I'm doing the late show at Comedy Works. And then is it Lucha Libre and Laughs tomorrow? I'll be down there.
Oh, nice.
Fucking breaking chairs,
right?
Baby.
It's at the Oriental this time, right?
Yeah.
Right,
I'm not telling jokes there, but I got to go get my looch in.
Hell yeah, man.
Got to get that shit down. And then if anybody's back in LA, check my website, jordandahl.party.
Hell yeah. Jordan Dahl, everybody give it up for him, man. Jordan Dahl. Hell yeah. And ladies and gentlemen, for the 3rd episode in a row, because I'm a real degenerate, I have no clue who'll be on the next episode of Talking Shop. I have some candidates, some people that might do it if they want to.
Me in a hat.
It could be Excelsior Dahl.
Yeah, what? I heard he's great. I heard he's tall and handsome in that hat. Woo!
Well, hell yeah, man. Hope y'all enjoyed listening to this episode. We'll be back in 2 weeks. Talk shop again. Till then, I'm Anthony Crawford. Thanks.
This has been a Sex Pot Comedy Joint. Collaborative, community-driven comedy produced by Andy Jewett and Kayvon Khalid-Bari. Headquartered in Denver, Colorado, with technical support from Isaac Miller. Every day at sexpotcomedy.com or at a show near you. Until next time, be well, friends.